So today's video is going to be me introducing you to two, or actually three, of our other decks, which are oracle decks, and they are in these cases here. If you've seen these cases on my website, you might know what these are. And let me so the first one is the Cupid Says Original Oracle Decks, and actually let me pull out the new packaging one because this is a pretty old one. So these are the current decks we have in stock. This one here, we do have a video about. This is our Family Heirloom Tarot deck, and this is the new packaging with the twine and the little tag, and on the back you get a QR code to all our links, and this is what the back looks like. We will leave the link of the talk through and the flip through of all the different tarot cards in the description for you to take a look, and also the link to the shop, of course. And then our very first Cupid Says Oracle deck. This was our very first deck that was available in our store, and it's this one right here. So this is the new packaging, this is the old one. So the box is a little bit bigger and a little bit darker pink, and the label is way more saturated, so you can see. This was mainly like a printer thing. The artwork was always the same. And if you want to read it, I'll let you read this one right here because it doesn't have the twine in the way. And of course we have our QR codes and my parents' SayPa and SayMa on there. So yeah. And the tin are the same size, whereas the previous one is a little bit smaller. So what is in the blue tin is actually still the Cupid Says Oracle, but this is the expansion deck, and this is actually our second ever deck. So this is what the label on the back looks like. So I have it here, it looks the same. Ooh, turn off the camera. So if you want to read about it, you can give it a pause right here. So yeah, all the links to all of these will be down in the description, but today we're going to be talking through those two decks, and also actually in here is my third oracle deck, and this one I don't have in stock. It's more a print on demand, so I will talk about this on its own video. This is called the Wise Love Letters. So just to show you a very quick sneak peek, this is SayPa on the back, and this is SayMa. These are designed after the Chinese love letter biscuits, and some of the little cards on there look like this. It's a more general type of oracle guidance deck, so I will have this one in the description for you to look at if you're interested, but today we're going to be focusing on the Cupid Says one. And I only have one tin here because I combine my two decks and I shuffle them together, and this is how I use them. So the two decks actually fit into the container, like either one, because they're the same size, nicely. It's not snug because they do like overflow it a little bit, but you know, you can get away with it, and that's how I actually store it. So yeah, let me just make sure there are no more cards in the tin. So when you use them shuffled together, which is what I recommend, this is what you would see. So you have the pink and the purple, bluish purple cards, kind of like a periwinkle. So this is the original deck with the pink cards that go along with your pink tin. And then the expansion deck is the blue purple periwinkle cards with the blue tip with SayMa on it, thinking about SayPa, and the original is SayPa, thinking about SayMa. So if you wanted to know. And then on the actual oracle cards, the pink ones look like this, which is the original, and the blue ones look like this. So yeah, they actually follow like a very similar format where they have equal amounts of positive messages, negative messages, and neutral messages. And I specifically designed it this way so that it's not biased towards like just saying nice things to you or like saying really mean things to you. So yes, and both decks are this way. The original deck has 67 cards, whereas the expansion deck has 47. So yeah, and I am going to be splitting my deck up just so that I can show you exactly what I'm talking about and what you get in each deck, and also going further to split them into the positive, the negative, and the neutral cards so that you can see exactly what other cards you get when you get your hands on this deck. Also, I'll be putting up the prices, the number of like the different type of cards up in here with text because I can't remember it off the top of my head. And yeah, so let's jump into a time lapse of me sorting out all my cards. Let's go. Okay, so I've split the two decks up, and from here you can see like the difference in them. So this is the original 67 cards, and this is the expansion deck that has 47 cards. I also call this the mini deck because like if you're more on a budget and you just want a smaller deck, you can go for this one. But from what I've seen, mainly customers get either the original or they get both. They don't really just get the tiny one. Yeah, and I was trying to split them up into the positive, negative, and then neutral cards, but then I was like, nah, I don't remember what, you know, like the exact classification, because some messages are a little bit more gray. So I'm just gonna go through them like that, and you can have a look at the cards for yourself. So firstly, let's talk about the original, and I just want to give also a little like specifications of the cards. As I was sorting it out, you probably saw that it's more of a like slippery deck where the cards, they move very easily. So for me, it makes shuffling so easy, and because of the shape, it fits very nicely in the palm of your hands and they pop out easily. Be patient if you're waiting to see the cards. And they're thin, so yeah, but some people don't really like slippery cards, so I'm just letting you know. And it does get less slippery as you use them more and more, just ever so slightly. So that's a disclaimer. It is raining again, like the previous time I was filming for the tarot deck, so that's kind of funny. But anyway, yeah, so let's just take a look at the messages on the deck, shall we? So this is the very first one. I basically use just pink and black and kind of two different types of handwriting. These are all written by me digitally, so there's emphasis on certain words and like the size and everything. So the time is now. This card is very simple, but I really like how simple it is with the lowercase writing and just it's powerful. So some of the cards do have like upside down writing just to emphasize a little bit on the word or the particular message. This is one of the important ones that I wanted to include. This is one of them, or maybe the only one that has double meaning. So this deck is usually read upright, but if you get this one and it's reversed, upright it says has this happened before, and reversed it could just be read as deja vu. So however that resonates to you, and all of our decks are meant to be read or used very intuitively. There really isn't one way to use it. Just guide yourself. You know, today you might want to use it one way, tomorrow another way. So I'm not really doing very much talking because it's very much intuitive and the messages are very easy to read and understand. Take the Road Less Trodden was more a personal one, which, let me just bring it back. This just means to not follow suit what other people are saying just because they're telling you and just because majority are following. You should always take your own path because you know exactly what is best for you sometimes. And we sometimes don't want to admit that. I really like using this sort of writing as well, but I digress. One of my favorite cards as well. And of course, love always wins, whatever kind of love that is. So again, based on the reading, sometimes the same cards come out, but there's a very different way of interpreting the messages. Absolutely. One of the classics. You can read this deck in reverse if you want as well, but because it's round, sometimes it can come up sideways, so use it however you feel suits you in your readings. Love this one as well. for the rest of my life. Again, I've seen beginners use this deck and more advanced readers using this deck, and I think it's because it's so easy to read. There really isn't much difference in, how do I say it? There's not really like it cuts across levels is kind of what I want to say. Yeah, absolutely not. For my physical touch people out there. This is an important one because a lot of times it's love, but love doesn't always mean forcing incompatible people to be together. So this is a very, very clear message. It can also relate to like traveling, depending on what you're reading for. And the last one, it starts from you. So that is the original deck. So now we can take a look at this deck right here, which is the expansion deck. So again, 47 cards in here. Oh, there's a pink one right here. Oh, this is the introduction card that you will also get in that original deck, but I just don't have it with me because I put it somewhere else, because you remove that before you you use the cards, of course. So here's the first card. Without a shadow of a doubt. So again, both these decks have equal numbers of positive with quotation marks, negative and neutral messages. I wanted to split them, but then I was like, I don't remember how I planned it, and a lot of these messages do fall into like the middle ground, so we'll just flip through them as an entire deck. And this one here is a neutral card, which asks you to go and look at your tarot deck, because there are more messages than we can tell you right here. It might be a more complicated situation. And they said miracles don't happen. Based on the reading and the scenario and even the person you're reading for and the question, even positive cards may be interpreted as like negative and vice versa. So again, read it very intuitively, and there's no right or wrong way to read it. There's not really a how-to for our Cupid Says Oracle deck, and you know, currently all of our other oracle decks. You make me so happy. This one I really wanted to include. Certain cards I felt like I missed in the original, and that's why the expansion deck was made. This is one of them. And they do come from experience of me like hearing this personally, so. And a lot of just messages that, you know, people around have said, like, that's what their significant other or person they're having a situationship with have said. This one too I wanted to add in for my physical touch people, and you know, the deck can be a little bit more risque than, you know, safe emotional things. And angry cards as well. This is one of my favorites. One of the cards that you can read upright and reversed. I didn't mean it, and then sorry, I lied. You can read this deck upright and reversed, but usually I read it just upright because it's circular also. So sometimes it comes up sideways and then you don't know how to interpret it, and also the messages aren't very clearly positive or negative, so unless intuitively there is a message coming through for a reversed card, I typically just take it as an upright card. Again, for my physical touch people, I am one, that's why, you know. This card I made a boo-boo on. Shame, fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, shame on you. Actually, it's a reversed. But because it came out this way, I decided, like, heck, maybe it's meant to be. I'm just gonna keep it this way. But you can interpret it the correct way as well. Make or break. So these are all the cards, including the intro card that you get. So yes, thank you for watching this video to learn more about the cards that are in this deck. Again, I'm going to be leaving the links for our other decks and their walkthroughs down below, and also the links to purchase these if you are very much so interested. So thank you so much for watching this video. Bye. So one thing that I wanted to add and I wanted to plug that I kind of forgot is I was talking about hitting the camera. No. I was talking about our Family Heirloom Tarot. This one is my own that I've been using. So this is what Family Heirloom looks like. If you want the full video, again, it's linked down below. So this is what it looks like. It's very much inspired by Asian heritage, Chinese heritage, Singapore heritage, and also this very vintage look because it's very heavily revolved around family, and so I really wanted this very like 60s kind of neutral, no, not neutral, 60s like groovy kind of funky color palette. So here are some of the cards for you to look at. But what I really wanted to plug is that we have two variations that have come out of this tarot deck. One of it I do have right here. This is the standard tarot size, by the way, and you do get the tin. This is from the shop. So again, it looks like that. This is what you will get. The mini tarot, this is print on demand, so I have this one here because I really love this one, and I had to print one for myself because it's so portable. This is the mini Family Heirloom Tarot. It's so tiny, fits in a micro bag. Okay, so I just have this bag here that fits it very, very snugly, so you are not ready for this cuteness. And if you're wondering, the bag is designed so that, you know, upright or reversed, you can't tell from the back. So this is the tiny one, look at it. So it's so teeny tiny. If I put it up against for you to see, this is how tiny the baby deck is. It is so cute. So this is what it looks like. This is actually slightly wider on the sides because they only have one size for the mini deck, and this is more polka card ratio. So let me just zoom or bring it closer to the camera so you can see some more of these aesthetics. So the mini deck is available if you are looking for either a portable deck or a like more affordable option or just a cuter option. This is so cute, and like I can just bring this to parties because everybody always have questions that need a little bit of guidance on. So yeah, we do have the mini deck, which I'm so excited about. And the other deck we have, I don't have on hand, but I'm gonna put like some pictures here, is the beginner's version of the tarot. So it will have the interpretation of the cards upright and reversed on both sides, and the general like yes or no or maybe answers on the side, so that for beginners we can read it, you know, have a little bit of help with interpreting tarot cards. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to plug. Thank you very much for watching the video, and all links down below, all videos down below. Yeah, have a wonderful day ahead. Bye bye.